The towing of cars in Strata has been an issue for decades. And the reality is that the reason for that is that there is no self-help remedy in relation to bylaw enforcement. So to enforce a bylaw, which is what you're doing when you're trying to tow a car, you need to go through the Commissioner's office to get an order that allows you to do that. So when someone breaches the bylaws, you can't simply go and skull drag them out of the pool because they're in there at 8 p.m. Or if someone's got a pet that's not approved, you can't go and grab the master key and grab it, put it in a cage and take it to the RSPCA. You need an order. And those orders, and this is the reality of any litigation, but in the Commissioner's office, orders will take somewhere from probably 10 to 12 or 13 months. So the reality is that it's not practical to do that when you want to tow a car that shouldn't be in a visitor car parking space. So the government had recognised that. Now the way they've addressed this is to simply say that when a body corporate is towing a car, they don't need to go through the requirements of getting an order from the Commissioner's office anymore. But the interesting thing in this one's the fine print. So when legislation's created, we have the Act and we also have the reading speech. And the reading speech is some of the explanations as to why the government has done what it has done. So those things aren't necessarily binding on their own, but they're very relevant when you're looking at what the interpretation of legislation might be. So with towing of cars, the legislation is only one paragraph and it's very simple, but the reading speech has the fine print. And the reading speech says that bodies corporates still have to be reasonable when they're exercising that right to tow a car. So what does acting reasonably mean in these circumstances? To me, it is absolutely making sure that the person who is about to get towed knows that that's going to be the consequence of them staying where they are. So if I parked in a visitor car parking space and I come back to that and the car has been towed and the body corporate hasn't made any attempt to contact me at all, then to me, without this being legal advice, that is almost certainly going to be unreasonable. If the body corporate has told me 15 times over the previous 6 months in writing and on text message and via email and face-to-face that if I keep doing that I'm going to be towed, then maybe it might be reasonable to tow me without notice when I park there for the 16th time. But again, as always in the Commissioner's office, what's just and equitable in each individual circumstance depends on those circumstances. So as much as bodies corporate are going to have the right to tow cars, you've got to be very, very careful to make sure that you continue to act reasonably. And if you need help on what that might look like, just reach out.